we're now going to hand this off to Natalia. Natalia's going to present some information about quality of life. I hope to see you guys soon. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was amazing. I'm so impressed. We have a lot of neighborhood experts who ended up by activism, you know, and just curiosity sometimes, and sometimes necessity, getting to know all of these issues that we now would like to share with you. And this is really what it's all about. That's why the premise of by the community, for the community, which is from us to you, so that we can all be well informed and know what to do when things arise. And so thank you so much, Chris, and my other fellow presenters. My name is Natalia Ayoffi. I'm a Jersey City resident for over 15 years now. I live in Ward F, and this is going to be part 2 of the quality of life presentation. Last time we covered an app called See Click Fix, which dealt with infrastructural issues in your neighborhood. And we talked about what it meant to be, what it means to be your neighborhood Superman, right? We don't want to wait for the Superman. We want to be our own Superman. We want to take care of our neighborhood ourselves. And we want to know what tools there are available in order for us to do that. So one of the things that we usually deal with are infrastructural problems, and that has to do with, you know, fixing a broken street light or sewer issues. Now I want to talk about something a little different, which also pertains about to quality of life, and that is quality of life as it deals with issues of public safety, property and persons, and other things which you may not have even thought of. So I will once again talk about a mobile app, which our solutions are not limited to these tools, but they do exist. And one of our goals is to just let you know that they exist and how to navigate them and how to use them for your benefit. So this app is called WOTS, W-O-T-S, and it stands for Word on the Street. And it's a free app that you can download on your phone. One thing you'll have to do is provide your phone number. It'll give you a code to enter, and you can get started. So that's all you need in order to create a profile. And once you enter the location in question, so to speak, right? If you see something and want to say something and you're not sure who to call, and this is one of the things that we've encountered in our community, especially with speaking to the police, speaking to different departments, is that often people, they want to solve an issue, but they don't know which department to call, and they struggle navigating through all these different city departments. Things like the WhatsApp or the See Click Fix, provided that they work properly, they allow you to have like a one-stop shop. And by reaching out through the app, you're able to kind of, that information gets disseminated to the appropriate department without you having to wonder and struggle, well, who's responsible for this particular issue? Is it the police? Is it Department of Public Works? Is it resident response? Is it quality of life? So this is just one example. And again, hopefully, you know, when and if it works, technology, as wonderful as it is not always foolproof, but we are trying to rely on it. So this is one of your options. So I want to tell you how to navigate it. So once you're in the WhatsApp, and if you've created your profile, and if you want to indicate an issue that has a problem, you have to indicate your location or the location about which you are reporting. And then it will offer you 3 main categories. Those categories are vehicular, that have to do with any type of vehicle issue, quality of life, which is pretty generic, but we'll go into that, and then crime. And crime can also cover a vast number of things. So when it comes to vehicles, the app kind of breaks it up also into subcategories as well. It could be accident related, it could be parking related, or it could be just traffic related. And those can be so different. And it has a great example of showing that if it's a parking issue, clearly then the parking department will be contacted. So it's not a police issue per se, but it could also be a public safety issue. For example, if you see a vehicle blocking a fire hydrant, that's an automatic fire hazard, right? So if you see that in your neighborhood, you can, you know, by using this app, click a picture, and that also lets the officers responding, whether it's the parking enforcement or the actual police, depending on who's going to take care of that, see which vehicle it is, what is the location, what is their license plate, instead of wondering, you know, if it's a phone call, sometimes it's harder to get that information across. So that's just one example. And of course, if the car is blocking the fire hydrant, that can obstruct a fire department's entry into the moment of need. Another great example is abandoned vehicle. That is a blight issue for our neighborhoods. It happens often, especially in semi-industrial areas. And you can see a car sometimes standing in a spot for months, years even. It may not have a license plate. It may just be completely abandoned. It can become an attraction to litter, to all sorts of illicit activities, which you do not want in your neighborhood. So be a good neighbor and report it and just have it taken away, that it doesn't belong in your neighborhood, because we take part of this initiative is to take ownership for where we live and make it better, not just for ourselves but for our fellow neighbors. And you could see it on your screens. Some of the other examples are traffic. I would advise you to just use your judgment and common sense. A lot of these examples and categories are given, quite honestly, can merit a phone because they're so specific, such as a drunk driver. Like, I can't imagine using a mobile app to, report a drunk driver in a split second. So use your judgment in that moment. If the situation merits kind of a photo submission and it could take time, by all means do that. Or if you feel that it's an immediate issue that merits a phone call to the appropriate department, then do that. And I will go over those telephone numbers at the end. So just use your discretion, but it's important to know what kind of categories are available to you and what kind of things that you are able to report if you wanted to. And so that was traffic, kind of the observational. Quality of life and other things. That's not vehicular and not necessarily crime, but also could be somewhere in between. And it covers things like disputes, illegal behavior, public nuisances, and other. What are the things that can annoy us in the neighborhood that we feel desperately that we need help with, that we feel compelled to call someone, whether it's the police, the fire department, please help? Things like loud music. It seems like such a little thing, and not to be nosy, but right now we're in this situation where we're all still semi-quarantined and our children are learning from home and we are working from home and everybody's confined to their spaces. And so something like loud music can literally disrupt an entire household, their livelihoods and their educational process all at the same time. So this can give you an opportunity to address that quickly without wondering, who do I call? It's just a great example. There's behavior in your neighborhood that you may be a witness to that you don't want to necessarily confront. And this is also kind of a safe way for you to address it. If you see some kind of a lewd behavior, you feel illegal behavior, but you don't want to, approach and confront. In fact, the police officers will also advise you don't confront if you can, if you can help it. If you feel it's serious enough, and if you feel that you can take a photograph that may inform the responding department in some productive way, do that. This will give you a way to do this safely. Things like harassment, loitering. Again, it doesn't have to involve you. It can involve somebody else. If you want to be helpful, if you see, someone else in trouble and you want to help them out, but you're on a work call and, this is your way to be a good neighbor without necessarily stepping outdoors and getting in the middle of things. You see some of the other things in front of you, things like gambling on the street, lewdness, street games, underage drinking. That's a problem. If you see it, you can say something. Fireworks, that was a big issue in the summer. There's several notices went out about fireworks. Again, you can address it through this app. And finally, crime in things like a burglary or a robbery, which are given here as examples, or finding of a weapon or finding of drug paraphernalia. Again, I would just advise to use your judgment and your common sense, because things that you feel are stationary situations that can merit a simple photograph, and again, submission of this report via this app, that's fine if you feel confident about that. But if you feel, again, that the situation is emergency or like it's situation in motion, the best thing could be to just call the police and advise them as to what exactly is going on and the direction in which it's moving, depending on the situation. But it's interesting that they do offer things like You can submit a request about a missing person, a wellness check, which if you're concerned about an individual, they don't have to be related to you, but if you have a neighbor that you're concerned about and you want to request a wellness check on them, especially now in times of COVID, if you don't see your neighbor leaving the house and you know they're not in good health, this is your way of taking care of your fellow humans, you know, by being a good neighbor and by kind of letting the world know that they may be in trouble. And the category of other, which also kind of touches upon different things that they overlap in some ways. Damage to property, again, drug paraphernalia, I touched upon that. So it overlaps crime and other, some of these things that it's interesting that are here, it wouldn't even occur to you that they could be a problems that could be reported. And another reason it's good to be acquainted with it is because from communicating with police during their meetings, we realize that a lot of issues that get brought to the police are not really legal issues. For example, a homeless person sitting on a park bench, that he's not doing anything illegal. And that's something that we've kind of witnessed conversations taking place about. The police officers would tell you, listen, in certain hours of the day, these people have the same rights as you. Do not call the police and ask them to remove a homeless person for enjoying a park bench. That's why lists like these and applications like these, they give you examples of what is considered a problematic behavior that you can report. So if you don't see your issue here, I mean, obviously you could always inquire, but it also gives you an idea of what is and isn't kind of reportable necessarily. And so if ideally all goes well and your case is successfully submitted, you will get a notification on your phone that your request has been submitted, the officer is being looked for and has been assigned, and then you will get a final status saying that your case has been addressed and closed successfully. And that is the perfect scenario. However, like I said, because technology is not foolproof, we want to be able to also have a phone number to call for various situations. And so I did want to provide you with the department telephone numbers, such as the Parking Authority, which is 201-547-5538, the Jersey City Police Department non-emergency line. And that is for things that, again, have happened or not emergency situations. It connects to all the districts in Jersey City, regardless if you live in South, West, North, or East. You call 201-547-5477, and they will connect you to the necessary department. You give them your information. Be prepared to give your name, your address, your telephone number, because they will need that to call you back. And the resident response for other types of quality of life issues. And of course, if you are experiencing an emergency or a threat to your life or property, something of immediacy, call 911. Don't go through apps, don't go looking for non-emergency lines. If you're in danger, always call 911. And that's about it. And really, again, one of the quality of life is such a vast topic. It could be infrastructural, it could be safety related. And our goal here is to bring to you as many tools that are available out there, particularly in Jersey City, so that you can help yourselves, you can help your neighbors, and you can be your neighborhood's own Superman. So thank you again. I want to thank my fellow presenters. I think this is a wonderful initiative. You know, when the community stands up for itself, it's a powerful thing, you know, and I think that when people who really, really care about their neighbors and the city come together to bring forth the information that can empower you, make you stronger, make you smarter about, you know, where you are and what you need to do in order to take care of yourselves, take care of your city, take care of your home, protect it, then it's a beautiful thing. Thank you again, and I'm giving it back to Mr. Gilmore.